Hello, YouTube. It's been a while since we did our Talking Head episode. And since I have kind of a long drive today, heading out to the Orlando VA where the eye specialist is going to check out my eye, my retina specialist, to see what is going on, why I'm losing my vision. I'm still seeing the flashes. Let's see. The right side is still a little bit darker than the left, and both eyes are weaker than they used to be. But anyhow, hopefully the retina specialist will be able to figure it out, and even better, hopefully they can fix the problem. Anyhow, I thought I would do an episode with some tips for new van dwellers and talk a little bit about ethical van dwelling. I don't think that's a topic that I've seen too much of, and as a matter of fact, it is a big issue because I see some postings in the Living in a Van Facebook group, you know, the group that's kind of tied into this channel on Facebook, Living in a Van, and a posting on there is, that I saw made by a van dweller is what's prompting me to do this episode here. But in that posting, one of the van dwellers was posting about, or kind of bragging about, how he stayed in a parking lot for free for like 10 days. You know, that's what he did for urban stealth camping, was he parked in a parking lot, paid parking lot for free for 10 days. And then when he got ready to leave, you know, he went up to the pay booth and told them he lost his ticket. And they let him go without charging him because the person didn't want to charge him the full rate or whatever, because he didn't have a ticket. I guess it would be a pain for them to do some paperwork and whatnot. So the guy let him out. The guy let the van dweller go for free. And the van dweller was kind of telling the Living in a Van Facebook group about how he was able to do that for free, get free parking. Nobody hassled him at the parking, you know, the parking lot. And he feels that's all right. Well, ethically, what just happened was he actually did steal. He stole a service. I guess if you're okay with just going to a grocery store and grabbing the food off the shelf, which I see people doing, like at Walmart, they'll order the deli food, like the chicken, you know, the hot wings, the fried chicken, and then they'll walk around the store and eat it, and then take the empty containers and hide it on a shelf or something. That's not okay either. That is stealing. So, you know, if your parents or whoever raised you didn't teach you, when you do stuff like that, when you take a service illegally, you know, when you take it without paying for it, you're kind of abusing the situation, and not just abusing it, you're a thief. So I normally don't park at parking lots, but the ones that I do are usually free, like a hospital parking lot. And even then, I don't live there for like 10 days. It's usually like one night or something, you know, like during a hurricane when it's an emergency type situation. But parking in a parking lot is a potential parking spot, but really you should pay. Now, if you're going to stay there overnight, it can end up being $20 a night because they charge you by the hour, and if you're staying more than 12 hours, I think it's like 20 bucks. So I don't really recommend too much parking in a paid parking lot, but if you have one that you found, you know, somewhere that's free, you could possibly stay there one night. I wouldn't stay there 10 days. That's the kind of stuff that makes police and the cities and stuff crack down on van dwellers. You know, you look like a bum, basically, a leech. So keep that in mind when you're parking, and it applies to like Walmart too. I see people take advantage of Walmart parking, which is why van dwellers are starting to be harassed and having issues at Walmart. You know, they're putting up signs that say no overnight, and even in a stealth vehicle, because by now they know what to look for. The police, as well as Walmart security, a lot of times they'll hire an independent security company that drives around in the little car, little truck, or whatever, with the blinking yellow lights, amber lights. But they've started to crack down on it because of behaviors of certain van dwellers. And what they do, when I say these behaviors, I'm talking about people who go and they don't just park and sleep overnight and leave. They set up a semi-permanent camp. They actually will take their van or RV, set it out there, and run the generator, and set up a little canopy, and pull out a little table and a chair and drink, and then throw trash all over the place. Okay, one, that's a parking lot. That's not a campground. So, you know, doing that is bad. I think it's kind of rude to be running your generator in a Walmart parking lot for the other guests, you know, the other people, the shoppers and stuff as they come, because it's really loud. You shouldn't be running that in a hotel parking lot or a Walmart parking lot. It's just too loud. The second thing is to set up camp and stuff. It's just inviting, you know, making yourself stand out, making the whole group, the people who live and travel in a van, stand out as a menace. So don't do that. Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, you know, it's up to you. But my recommendation is don't, please, because it hurts everybody. It hurts everybody who van dwells, or anybody who's traveling in a van and needs a place to just pull over for a couple hours to sleep, you know, or just overnight to sleep, instead of paying $65 to $100 a night for a hotel room, you know, to be able to sleep for free. And those of us who have our vans rigged for sleeping and stuff, we're carrying our own hotel rooms. But when you start treating the parking lot as if it was a campground, you are making it bad for everybody and causing those issues where they now post signs that say no overnight parking. The police come in and send people out. It's gotten to the point where they actually know, you know, they can spot and recognize van dwellers. These people aren't stupid. I mean, it's like, you know, once you catch a couple people, even in a stealth van, now all vans are suspect. So they will actually watch the van and see how long it sits there, you know, on their cameras. Everybody's watching everywhere nowadays. So please, if you're into van dwelling, if you're even doing this part-time or thinking of getting into it, keep these suggestions and stuff in mind. They're not hard and fast rules, but they have to do with common sense and ethics and treating people the way you would want to be treated, you know. And the other thing that I see that can be an issue is like van dwellers who think it's okay to just park their vehicle in front of somebody's house. Well, if you had a house and somebody brought a van or whatever and just parked in front of your house, an RV or a van, especially if it was junky looking, broken down and stuff, you'd be upset, you know, because that's, first off, it'd be suspicious because you don't know that person. The second thing is, they think it's an eyesore. They paid money for their land, they paid money for their property, and they don't want that sitting in front of their yard. So if you're going to do stealth camping, I know in California it may be a little bit hard because, you know, public parking and stuff may not be available. They charge for parking in public parking, in California at least. That's been my experience. And the police and stuff may roam it and stuff, so, and they've got a high rate of homelessness. So if you're in an area where it's high rate of homelessness, there's not really much you can do. But if you're in areas that aren't, you know, homeless and stuff, try to pick your parking spots better. I think, you know, for me, ideally, if I was traveling and not having to stay in a certain area all the time, I would be out boondocking in the middle of nowhere because, you know, the van's equipped for that. And I would much rather wake up to the wilderness than waking up in a parking lot with music, loud blaring music that I don't enjoy, or people shooting or arguing or fighting or yelling at their kids or whatever, which is what happens when you park in a parking lot. The other thing that I've seen posted on the Living in a Van Facebook group in the past that I thought was not so cool is the issue of ice. You know, a lot of people like to get ice, and ice can get very expensive. I've shown ways how to get free ice, and it essentially is to carry your own cup. Like if you have a cup like this, and I have two of them, I have it double layered here, but this is from Racetrack. But basically, the first time you go into Racetrack without your ice, you can buy one of those 48 or 64 ounce cups and get the lid with it too, and get some ice, fill it up with ice, and go up to the counter and let them know you're getting the ice. You know, you'd like to buy that cup of ice, and they only charge, I think, 25 or 50 cents for that cup. A lot of times, they'll actually tell you, go ahead and take it for free. You can have it for free. Yeah. So don't just grab the cup of ice and leave. Doing that is stealing. You know, the company has to pay for those cups. But anyhow, what I found is about 90% of the time, you can go up with the cup of ice, the large cup of ice with the lid on it, and they'll charge you 25 cents or 50 cents at Racetrack. But you can ask them, you know, say, hey, you know, I'd like to buy this ice. They'll either ring it up, or the guy will say, you can just have it, don't worry about it. Now what you want to do is save that cup and the lid, because with that cup and the lid, you can get free ice almost any time of the day, anywhere, at a fast food restaurant, at a gas station with one of those soda dispensing machines. What you do is you take your cup and you walk in there and you make sure the clerk, whoever's running the counter, you know, whether it be fast food or the gas station, make sure they see you entering with a cup of ice, and ask them and say, hey, do you mind if I pick up some ice, fill this up with ice? 99.9% of the time, they will say, sure, no problem. Especially if you pay for gas, you know, like you went there to get gasoline or something, or you're buying something else, like a burger or something. But I go there without even buying burgers and stuff, just ask for ice. And have not really had an issue 99.9% of the time. Sometimes you'll get a new clerk or a new person working there, and they don't know, and they'll charge you. So they'll say, yeah, it'll be 25 cents or it'll be 50 cents. And in that case, I go ahead and pay it, and I don't go back to that one store because they're not very friendly. I don't buy gasoline there. I don't buy whatever there. But generally, I will try to get ice at places that I, you know, buy things from. So I'm kind of a customer, you know, like especially gasoline. Like I'll stop at Racetrack or something. But I make sure they see that I have my own cup, because if you got to get a new cup from them, you're costing them money. But if you have your own cup, you're still costing them money, because it costs money to pay for the water and the energy to freeze that water to make it into ice. So make sure you ask. Another thing that I see people offering or telling people to do is take free showers at motel rooms or hotel rooms or whatever, just simply by going in, waiting for somebody to check out, and then going into that room and taking a free shower, and then sometimes even going into the lobby and getting a free continental breakfast. Okay, you're stealing. I don't know who raised these people that are suggesting that others do this. They don't seem to have an ethics meter as to what's wrong and what's right. Just because you can do it and not get caught doesn't make it legal, doesn't make it the correct thing to do, the right thing to do. One, I would definitely never go into a hotel lounge or whatever and get the free food. You know, it's like going to a buffet and eating the buffet and not paying for it. Or walking into a store and grabbing a bunch of stuff, putting it in your pocket and walking out. It's called stealing. Now, if you paid for the hotel room, yeah, sure. You know, that's included in the price of what you paid. And as far as parking it like at a hotel, okay, some people will park at night at a hotel thinking it's safe. A lot of hotels monitor those parking spots, and they need those parking spots for their guests who is trying to stay there overnight and have, you know, need a parking spot for their room. So don't do that. if you're going to park at a hotel, I mean, in an emergency, I suppose you could if there's a lot of empty slots, you know, and you see that they have extra slots. They don't have just one slot for each room. Some of the larger hotels will have that. Motels typically don't have that. Motels typically have one slot, one parking. Oh, excuse me. Motels typically have one parking slot for each room, and we'll actually monitor the slots. If you're going to try to park at a motel, I would recommend actually going into the front room, you know, the clerk's office, and asking them if you have permission. Say, hey, you know, I'm traveling in my van, it's set up as a camper, and I just need a place to park for a couple hours to sleep, to close my eyes. Do you mind if I park in one of your empty slots somewhere? And if so, where would you like me to park? They will most likely let you know whether or not you can park there and where you can park. So you're not kind of, you know, causing them to lose customers, to make it so people don't have parking spot and they got to deal with it, and then they got to call the police to come tow your vehicle. And as for the shower situation, I recommend signing up with a nationwide gym, such as Planet Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, Gold's Gym, or whatever, if you're traveling in the United States. Because we have that all over the United States. If you want to try to shower at a hotel room that's been vacated, I would ask the people who are packing up and getting ready to leave, even though you put them in a bind. See, I don't really recommend doing that, because if you go up and ask somebody who's getting ready to check out, they're packing up and getting ready to check out, you say, hey, do you mind if I use your shower now that after you checked out? You put them in a bad position, because they still have their name on that reservation for that hotel room, and you're going to go in there and use it. Now, I don't think you're going to go in there and be a thief and steal the towels or the remote for the TV or break the TV or eat the food or whatever that's in there. Sometimes they have drinks and things that the hotel actually bills the customer for. But not that you're going to do all that, but you put the person who's checking out at risk. Because if the hotel claims that you broke the shower or whatever, they're not going to come after you. They're going to come after the person on the credit card that did the reservation for the room. So I already don't really recommend taking a shower from a hotel, or even going into their swimming pool, which I've seen recommended and suggested on the Living in a Van group. People say, well, they like to sneak into a hotel or a motel and go to the swimming pool, and you can shower there. You know, they have a shower section, and you can also go swimming for free. They even have free towels. Sometimes they have free snacks. It's not free. You're a thief. You're stealing. So just keep these kind of things in mind, okay? Just as you normally would not walk into a Walmart and go to the deli department or the Publix deli department and order the food, then walk around the store and eat it, and then, you know, not pay for it and discard it. Don't do that just because you're a van dweller. You're not a van dweller, you're a thief who lives in a van. There is a difference. And when you do that, you pull that kind of stunt, you make us all suffer. You make all the legitimate van dwellers who are either doing it by choice. Hey, I just see a van out there boondocking on a field. But you're getting us all into trouble. You're making us stand out, look like an eyesore, and look like degenerates to the people who live there and pay the taxes, the community taxes, which, you know, we still pay as van dwellers in the form of buying stuff. You know, there's sales tax. I used to pay the taxes for the places that I do utilize, like the library and stuff, when I had property, you know, when I owned a house, or when I was actually, you never really own it, the bank does, until you pay it fully. And then still you have to pay taxes on it. Otherwise they come and they take it to the county or the city or whatever. But anyhow, when I had a sticks and bricks home, I used to pay taxes, property taxes, and all sorts of other taxes. And even now in the van, I still pay taxes. I pay service fees and taxes on the phone, you know, cell service, on the foods I buy, on the sales tax for things that I buy, items, services. So I don't really have a problem with using services that are free, you know, like the public library. And some of you might question me using free electricity in the parks. They used to, in Florida, a lot of the parks had electrical hookups, and they would leave it open, turned on for free. So a visitor to the park could actually use it for free. There was nothing wrong with that, because that was set up for people to use for free. But lately they've been turning it off, which to me is messed up. You know, that's when the city starts getting a little bit greedy, because see, that electricity was already paid for by the taxpayers, you know, in the property taxes and assessments, and even like sales tax and stuff like that for tourists and people coming through. That was a service they used to provide for free, but now they're charging money for it, when really, as far as what it costs the city, it doesn't cost that much. It should cost probably less than $100 if they run it all month. I'm sure it's more like $10 or less, because people don't sit there and use it 24/7. And that would be the other thing. If you do find a free location like that, don't run your wire to it and sit there and camp out and live on the beach or at that parking lot, you know, for days on end. I would not recommend staying somewhere more than one day and then moving to a different location, because when you stay there 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 days, you kind of stand out. Now there are areas where you can stay like upwards of a week, like BLM lands. And what I found was even like a place at the compound, apparently you can kind of boondock there unless somebody complains, you know, the landowner complains. Because I've seen people boondocking there for months on end, and they weren't the landowner. But I've seen the police there talking to them, but they're still there, so the police can't force them off the land, I guess, not unless they get a complaint from the landowner. So those are gray areas, but you know, parking in a hotel without permission, even parking in Walmart parking when they have the no overnight parking, that's a gray area. I actually do still park in Walmart parking lots when they have the no overnight parking area, you know, but then I'm kind of stealth about it. Nobody sees me, nobody knows I'm there. The other thing I wanted to point out that I've seen that I think is really messed up is I've seen van dwellers open their door in the morning and take out their urine bucket or their urine container and just dump it out onto the parking lot or onto the median or onto the side where they're parked. It's outside of their door. They just open it up and toss out their human waste. Don't do that. That's disgusting. People walk through there, and it makes the place smell like pee and poo or whatever you're throwing out. Please. That's the kind of stuff that's making trouble for all van dwellers. I recommend that you save your urine or whatever it is, your waste, and dispose of it properly. And by properly, I mean take it with you, put it in a plastic bag or whatever, you know, in your container, and go into a public bathroom like I do. You'll see me on some of my videos when I use the Walmart bathroom or whatever, or at a park or something. I take my waste with me and then I dump it. I dump it into the toilet or into the urinal or something. Or sometimes I'll take it with me into Planet Fitness, you know, and I dump it there. I don't just dump it there. I dump it in the bathroom, okay? I dump it where you would expect the waste to go. So if you've ever wondered what to do with your waste, get rid of it in the toilet. That might mean you have to save it a little bit, seal it so you don't smell it, you know, and then take it and dispose of it properly. Please. Don't throw it out in the Walmart parking lot. And if you're at BLM land or whatever, bury it, you know, dig a hole at least a foot deep, maybe more. Put some dirt on it, bury it, so that it doesn't smell and animals don't get to it and make a big mess. Treat yourself as if you were camping. Don't live like a vagrant. Don't do that to the group. Well, I think I've gone on long enough of my spiel about, you know, some rules and stuff. for those of you who are new to van dwelling, maybe I'll do an episode again just to update on some suggestions and things like that versus kind of harping, because these are things that really kind of trigger me, even though I don't chew out people on the living in a van group, because I'm not their mama. I'm not their papa, you know? Maybe they don't know any better. So, but I don't want to start up a stink and make people feel bad. I'm hoping that this video, if you're watching it, especially if you're a new van dweller or traveler or whatever, you'll keep these thoughts in mind, Please respect others. Respect the Walmart or the Home Depot or the hotel or wherever you're parking, Planet Fitness or whatever. Respect them, Don't litter in their parking lot. As a matter of fact, what I do a lot of times, if I park somewhere in a parking lot, like Walmart or whatever, and I see trash on the street near where I park, I'll actually pick it up. Yeah, I pick it up and I take it and I throw it away into the garbage containers that they have sitting out there in their parking lot. I don't just leave my car there with trash everywhere. That just makes us look bad. Even if I didn't make the trash, if somebody put the trash by where I park, when somebody sees me parking there and they see the trash on the street near my van, they think I made it. So whether or not I made it, I will go ahead and clean it up. As long as it's not like at the compound where there's like literally tons of trash everywhere. At that point, it would take a concerted effort of hauling the trash out, and I'm not going to spend $200 of gasoline hauling it out in 5 or 10 days to try to, and even then I couldn't finish hauling it out. People keep dumping new trash. I don't know why people do that. People disappoint me when they do that they will go into an area that could be pristine and nice and beautiful looking and use it as a dump ground and dump the trash instead of taking it to the city dump. So I think that's enough harping for today. I am going to sign out. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you are new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It will help, and leave a comment down below on your thoughts. If you really want to help this channel grow, please share this video and other videos you see on this channel. If you want to help me out personally and want to learn more about van dwelling, van life, and get some really good tips, and want to review my various playlists, I have a playlist for how to cook in the van, from the inverter cooking system to cooking off-grid using a homemade rocket stove made out of mailbox, as well as some homemade ones made out of a pot, like a cooking pot, and even like some using bricks, using those what do they call those gray cinder blocks. But anyhow, I have tips on van builds, different things you can do for your van, some ideas that I think are pretty useful, especially for minivans, and that's what I've got, and on my previous van for minivans. From building a van in one day for under $300. You could actually build it even less than that, but a $300 van, you could have a really nice van with a bed and storage and pretty much everything you need. So check out those playlists. It will help you as far as learning. As far as me, it will help because if you let the ads run and watch those videos, I actually make an income from the ads, and that's why you don't see me on here begging for money and stuff, because I typically make my income off the ads that run. And it's gotten to the point now with enough views and stuff that we're making okay money. It's not enough to live off or anything, but it's actually okay. And if you want to learn how to do that, there are videos on there, on the vlogs, on the Making Money series, where I have a playlist that shows you how to set up for YouTube and how to monetize and kind of how much money you can make, like how much you make off 1 million views. You really don't make that much, but if you had a bunch of videos that made millions of views, you could make a good amount of money. And a lot of it depends on your CPM rate. We talk a little bit about that. I haven't been doing too many of those videos because it seems like people aren't interested. There's not enough interest in there for people wanting to learn how to do it, which is amazing to me. But I guess because a lot of the people who view this channel, they have another source of income, whether it be retirement, disability, or they're actually working a real job. But watch those playlists, and if you want to follow my personal story and see how I ended up in this situation right now, and kind of follow the story from the beginning. It won't really be from the beginning, it'll be from 3 years ago when I actually decided to set up the YouTube channel and start broadcasting my life with the vlogs. You know, watch the main vlog. Watch it from the beginning. It'll answer a lot of the questions I keep seeing people ask over and over and over about, you know, my family, my ex-wife, my kids, my current wife, why I'm not staying with them, why I am in this situation, what happened to me, why I'm not teaching anymore, why all this stuff is going on as it is. And this time I think I am going to sign out for real. I keep saying I'm going to sign out, and 10 minutes later I'm still blabbering. Anyhow, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you're staying well, staying safe. God bless you all. Take care. And please, treat other people with respect, whether or not they're van dwellers or city dwellers and stick and brick dwellers or even the cops. Treat people with respect, always. Until next time, take care, everybody.